Hey folks, welcome to our channels. Please do subscribe and press the bell icon.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we have Saumya joining us. She has admits from IIM Ahmedabad, PGPX course as well as ISB. So let's go and hear it from Saumya itself. Saumya. So tell us more about the colleges that you have admit from.
Hi. Hi guys. Hi Anurag. So, as you already mentioned,
Mhm.
I had the admits from IIM Ahmedabad PGPX and
Mhm.
ISB full-time MBA. Yes, both
Yeah,
for 2020. I have deferred. I decided to for ISB, and then COVID happened, and I had to defer it to next year.
okay. So you're kind of zeroed down on ISB right now, and you're deferred it because of this COVID thing, correct?
Yeah, that decision I had made a long time back itself,
Mhm.
and I gave my admission fee etc. for ISB.
Mhm.
That was finalized. Everything was finalized, but then post that the college gave us an option to defer because of the COVID situation that happened,
Sure.
and so right now it is deferred to next year.
Got it. Got it. While you have admits from, so how did you prepare for getting into this premier B schools, Soumya? Like, irrespective of there might be a GMAT preparation or a GRE preparation required, and then you have to go and basically excel in that interview. So, what was your journey? How did you ace that through?
So yes, as in for any sort of for cracking any B school, you have to give GMAT or GRE,
Mhm.
especially the 1 year courses in India or the 2 year courses abroad.
Mhm.
So GMAT is basically the go-to exam generally
Mhm.
for B schools, and
Sure.
it is an historically proven exam for B schools specifically. But a lot of colleges have started
Mhm.
considering GRE also.
Mhm.
I decided I was pretty much confused initially. People told me that GRE is far easier than GMAT because I
Mhm.
am from an engineering background. And a lot of my friends were preparing or had already taken the GRE exam.
Mhm.
So they told me that GRE is much easier, you can score better, etc. But I chose to stick to GMAT
Mhm.
specifically because it's so. I did not research much, but I chose GMAT specifically because of the specificity of and its connection with the B schools.
Got it.
So once I decided to go for it, I mean, in the preparation phase is pretty individualistic, I would say.
Mhm.
People talk about, I mean, you have to study for these many hours, or you should do X, Y, Z to
Mhm.
get this particular score. I would say it's pretty individualistic,
Mhm.
and you should. First thing I would say is take a mock, which
Yeah.
I also did.
Okay.
Uh, Figure out where you stand, and
Mhm.
it will be bad. I mean, it can be very, very bad also. It depends.
Mhm.
So I would say don't get disheartened.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's very important to keep up the momentum
Mhm.
and the motivation.
Got it.
And suppose that so for me the initial challenges were focus and sitting for such a long duration at one go.
Mhm. Mhm.
I was not in touch of studies for a long time,
Mhm.
and I had lost the touch of being so focused as you are in an examination per se. So
Sure.
that was the biggest challenge.
Mhm.
So I decided to take it chunk by chunk, and in
Mhm.
smaller bits I started without any pressure or any timelines.
Mhm.
And I thought once I start getting 700 100ish score in the mocks, and that
Got
is
it.
the time when I'll think about the exam
The
dates
real exam.
or
Got
scheduling about the
it. Mhm.
exact actual exam.
Mhm.
So that's how I went about it. Uh, about the GMAT thing.
Mhm.
After that, as a lot of MBA applicants and MBA aspirants would already know that application is not only about GMAT, right? Or the
Yeah.
GMAT
Before
score.
actually jump on to the other section, Soumya, can you just tell us what was the GMAT score?
So it was not very good. It was 680. It was a decent score, I would
Got
say.
it. Got it. Got it. Got it. So it was basically fitting into the target schools you were targeting. So it's okay. Secondly, we wanted to understand more on the front is that while you took your GMAT, like you were mentioning, there was a second section also involved. Like you have to give your application. GMAT just forms one component of your applications, like you're stating also. There are many other components that contributes for your admit into a B school. So can you explain those components and your journey towards those?
Definitely. So there are a lot of aspects which you bring out through your application, and those aspects per se would be one your educational background, how
Sure.
you've done academically. The second would be your professional career and how you stand over the years, howsoever number of years of experience you have.
Got it.
Generally, people have 3 to 4 experience when you're applying for
Mhm.
MBA through GMAT. So these are the two. These are the two things. But I would also say you can't do much about it. Whatever
Yep.
has
Mhm.
happened in the past.
Mhm.
You can't actually change it overnight.
Yeah.
Uh, the third the third thing, apart from the two I mentioned, would be the leadership skills. And
Okay.
leadership skills, you can bring out you'll have to think hard on it, and you can bring out your leadership skills not only in your professional career, but a small things that you would have done around in your community. Probably
Mhm.
you have taken up some leadership, some local governance
Mhm.
activity some time in your
Got
life,
it.
and you were able to results through it. That can be a really good plus point for your applications and to show your leadership skills. So I would summarize these three things: academic qualifications, professional achievement, and the third would be your leadership skills.
Sure.
Uh,
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah, so in addition to the skill set that you mentioned, it's also about showcasing those skill set while you're actually preparing your B school application, Saumya. Like you have to write an essay, you have to get an LOR there. So how did you approach those components also? Because that also forms an important part of your applications, at least in ISB and Ahmedabad, if I'm not wrong.
right. I mean, everywhere, not only in ISB and IIMA Ahmedabad. In fact, IIMA Ahmedabad does not ask for an LOR.
Okay, okay, great.
Yeah. So that is something which is, which you don't see in any of the B schools. It does
Mhm.
ask for a reference later on, once you
Okay.
have that, but that is after you've got the admit and all,
Mhm.
etc.
Mhm.
ISB does focus on your LORs a lot, LORs
Mhm.
and applications. So I would say, I how I approached was, I had options of choosing from my manager or my ex-manager. That is what I was
Mhm.
considering. Basically, I wasn't
Sure.
going very much back in my career, as in like 3 years back in my career, because that would not give the correct picture of my personality as of now.
Sure. Mhm.
So for me, it was not very difficult, the LOR process. I approached my manager, and he
Mhm.
agreed. My current manager, luckily, he also was an ISB alumni.
Okay, that worked for you.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and he agreed. He agreed to
Mhm.
write the LOR.
Mhm.
So that's it. As in, it wasn't a very hectic process for me as
Sure.
such.
And on the essay part, Soumya, so you might be having a couple of aces in either both IIM Ahmedabad as well as ISB, where you have to portray your skill set as well as your future goals. So how did you approach that? Was there any specific template that you followed, or how did you approach that? Because it will be very internal and, like you said, individualistic in nature.
Yeah, I mean, especially the applications.
Yeah.
Obviously, the entire journey is very individualistic, and you have to focus on yourself.
Mhm.
But especially the applications, because you cannot follow a template in
Mhm.
applications,
Mhm.
because that would just mean that you are diluting your own personality, or
Yep.
you're not thinking hard enough about your personality and what you can bring on the table for the school. So
Mhm.
I would say, applications were basically, there were two questions given by ISB,
Mhm.
and there was a similar format for IM also. There were two questions, two essay type
Mhm.
questions given. How I approached it was that I created rough notes. I jotted down whatever came to my mind on a
Mhm.
notepad,
Sure.
without thinking of the word limits, etc. And my idea was to and it takes a lot of grilling, as in, because I'm not a very expressive person, and application means that you have to be expressive.
Okay.
So it can be a really grilling process. So then, for me, it was like bringing out certain personal traits, certain personal traits into the applications. I think that helped also because that is what my starting point in the interview was finally.
Got it. Got it.
Because see a lot, because if you're giving an interview for ISB, etc., right, everyone is an achiever over there,
Yeah.
as in somewhere academically and professionally everyone is an achiever, and everything you can see in the resume which you make. But the personal traits or the personal characteristics which also showcase your leadership skills or your future managerial quotient do not come very easy, which is what I think should be brought out from the through the applications.
Sure, sure. I got a brief on that part, Saumya, and now the later half. Like while you are actually going for a B school admission, an interview also forms a prime component of your admit criteria. So, how did you? Was there any specific preparation you did, or what were the key focus areas for you?
Hey folks, giving a voiceover as there is a bad audio out here. So, in this particular section, Saumya is talking about her interview prep, and the things that she is mentioning out here is that first thing that the interview is all about is your professional experience. And since she was well acquainted with her professional experience, she didn't put in a lot of effort on that part of her profile. Secondly, she went through the current affairs and specifically on the economic condition of the country, and those were the couple of things that she focused, and that helped her sail through both the interviews, both for IIMA as well as ISB.
So yeah, somewhere like you stated that you are admit from Ahmedabad as well as ISB. Like any specific reasons for choosing ISB over Ahmedabad, because both are academically superior in their own respects. If I'm not wrong.
Sure, yeah. So there were, so obviously, as you said, academically, both are almost comparable, as in I cannot say one is on top of the other. Mine, basically, in terms of my future goals and how it tied to each of the colleges. So I from a startup or an e-commerce background, and I want to continue in that background. So when I looked up where the alumni from each school had landed up after doing the MBA, I found more of ISB alumni in the industry that I wanted to go in. So that was a major factor in me deciding between the two B schools. So that's not because of any other factor, but just because these companies recruit from ISB, or they
Got it.
have a strong network within their own companies from ISB, and that is why. And since they have worked with the ISB people, they give certain value, and that is why the perception is built towards. The perception is built towards ISB, right? So that was one of the reasons why I chose ISB over Ahmedabad.
So yeah, thanks, Amya. Thanks a lot for sparing time with us. I'll just give a brief about what we spoke about. So, and it kind of will be helping the people who are actually applying for ISB or Ahmedabad in future. So, to again just go back. So she has admits from two B schools, Ahmedabad as well as ISB. Kudos to you, Soumya, on that. And she has decided to join ISB because it's more inclined towards future goals, and she has deferred it by a year. And on the preparatory part, like Soumya also mentioned, I'm just putting it in a brief summary, is that it's very individualistic in nature and you shouldn't focus on that. But what you can obviously give a shot is that before you start preparing, give an exam so you know where you're standing and accordingly ace your overall GMAT or the GRE preparation that you're looking for. And on the other part, like she stated, just be sure about what you want to do and how it is inclined in to your future goal. So I think that's what you stated, Soumya, if I'm not wrong. And
Yes, yes.
so all the best for your ISB time whenever it starts, and hope it starts next year. And once again, congrats on both of your admits.
Sure.
Thanks,
Thank you.
thanks.